Rookie of the Year?
I think at this point, I don't think so. Jordan is he's a freak. It's bottom line. I mean, he's done unbelievable things. The only way Vladdy can do so is continue to hit the way he did in the month of August. I think he hit 357 in the month. Hey, if he can hit like that in the month of September, you might have a case. But I don't know. Jordan Alvarez has been absolutely remarkable for the Houston Astros. And I just don't see Vladdy beating him out. I'm not saying Vladdy's not a better player. That's not what I'm saying at all. But all I'm saying is that Vladdy, the numbers just don't back it up for Vladdy. As much as he's been great, I'm just going to Jordan here. He's, where is he here? Yeah, he's only played 61 games. So you run into that whole, thing as well. Vladdy's played like 40 more games, but Jordan is hitting 329, and even though he's played 40 less games, he's got 6 more home runs. He has more RBIs. Now, ideally, he's on a better team, so, there's a lot more RBI situations for him. But the fact that he's got 21 home runs in his first 61 games, I don't know. And his OBP is 421. So I think Jordan Alvarez has the American League Rookie of the Year locked up for me. But, hey, you never know.
Yeah, I'd agree. And it's going to be fun to watch them square off this weekend. Actually, 2 of the most talented prospects in all of baseball. But, yeah, I have to agree. Jordan Alvarez, as great as Vladdy has been since the All-Star break, Jordan Alvarez has been on an absolute tear pretty much the entire season. I believe he's got an OPS over 1,100. So I think it's his to lose. I think the only way Vladdy wins it without going rampage over the last month or so and a big cold streak from Jordan Alvarez, which doesn't appear to be imminent, would probably be an injury, and then that might disqualify him from the games played that you'd require to win Rookie of the Year. I think that's probably the only way. I think he's got that locked up.
For sure. And Andre.LeBlanc1 says, Gurriel Jr., any chance he gets traded the offseason?
Wait, Lourdes Gurriel Jr.?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
no.
we signed the big contract.
Yeah, no.
We don't have to expand on that. It's a no.
That's a big contract, but it's a long contract on a very good-looking deal.
Huge bargain.
So a hard no for me.
Keelan.Dyer says, thoughts on Wilmer Font in the opening role in general?
I mean, he's done a good job. I mean, he's done a really good job in the opening spot for the Blue Jays. I don't know how to feel about the whole opener situation. For me, I'd like to run 5 starters out there. However, obviously, with the Jays circumstances right now, they can't do that. But with Wilmer Font, he's done a great job. He's done what they've asked him to do. You go in there, throw a couple innings, and get the heck out, and somebody else to go in there. I don't know. I still have mixed feelings towards it all, just for the fact of, you see the best teams out there. They have a solid start. The five-man rotation. Look at the Astros. Look at the Dodgers. You don't see them using bullpen guys. You don't see an opener for these guys. Mostly, I mean, maybe the odd one game here and there, but for the Blue Jays, it's happening twice every 5 days or whatever it is. So I don't know. If this team wants to take it to the next step and be a World Series team, I don't see the opener being a thing.
Yeah, Wilmer Font, and on himself, he's been great in that role, pitching 1 or 2 innings and giving the ball to another guy, a bulk starter, as they like to call it. Personally, I'm actually a big fan of the opener because you don't have to get to see the top of the order 3 times through. But while it can be effective, I don't think it's something that you should rely on exclusively, like the Blue Jays have sort of had in the last really since the All-Star break. So. Yeah, the ideal World Series team has multiple starters, and the opener should be sort of an assistant. It's not necessarily... It's part of the solution. It's not the solution.
And quick last question. Danny Low _ asks, do you think Biggio needs to go back down and fix his swing?
No, I think Biggio's fine. I mean, again, we heard people talking about this when Vladdy struggled to start his young career. Now, has Bo learned that the strike zone is maybe a little bit different in the big leagues than it is in AAA? Maybe a little bit, yeah. But what he's also, you're also seeing the eye at the plate from Kevin Biggio. I mean, you think he has, 40, 50 plus walks or whatever it is? that's amazing in itself. And the fact that his on base percentage is I think it's north 350 or it's in that range. I think Kevin Biggio again. Same with Vladdy, same with Bo. When they do struggle, you just let them go through it. They've done enough. The reason I say this is because you go down to AAA, especially a guy like Kevin Biggio. He dominated in AAA to start the season. That's why he got the call up to the big leagues. That tells me that he's done enough. He's done enough at AAA since he was hitting over 300 for when he was down there. And then he comes to the big leagues. Yeah, has he struggled? Yes, he has. So has Danny Jansen. We're not talking about sending him down. So for me, I think you just let Kevin Biggio work it all out because I think he's a great hitter. I think he's got a great swing. It's just maybe some tweaks here and there can help him go a long way, and that's what the offseason's for. It's going to be nice to see. So I don't think a AAA stint for Biggio is the right way to go. But hey, I mean, I'm not the manager. I'm not the Blue Jays. So
yeah, for sure, Kevin Biggio, he's his overall numbers don't look all that impressive, but again, as I mentioned so many times on this podcast, his ability to identify a ball or a strike is really impressive, and for a guy who's only played in his first year in the big leagues, it makes it even more impressive. I think at times he might be a little too patient, but I think I'm confident he will adjust to the big league strike zone, and as for sending him down, I think it's important to let him work it out at the big league level. It's just that simple to me, really.
Yeah, the season's almost over. It just doesn't make sense to send him around right now. There's gonna be an option to possibly work on his craft in the off season, possibly winter ball, whatever he has to do. But first season, certainly no complaints. We certainly don't see that, like you said, James, about Tellez and Jansen and everyone else that struggle. So just take it how it is, and hopefully he starts being more aggressive at the plate, but he certainly does have a very good eye at the plate. And that about covers it for this week's episode 13 of Jay's Banter, Jay's in Weekly. We appreciate James for joining us this week. As always, Rob, thank you for doing this with me again this week. And there's a lot of excitement as the Jays take on the Houston Astros starting tomorrow for a 3-gamer. Trent Thornton will get the ball. And as always, go Jays.